Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I am Robert Scarpanito, and I am joined here by Daily Wilhelm,
Konbanwa,
Jack Cepeda,
Irashaimase,
and Colin Sparling.
I don't think I need another adult this week. I think we're okay. This episode still gets a little crazy.
Colin,
If anything, there are too many chaperones with this. It feels like there's no alcohol at prom. It was just a boring episode.
Colin, you were supposed to say Minasan Konbanwa, and then I was going to say, what does that mean? What's Minasan mean? I don't have no idea.
Everyone.
Minasan, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
Okay,
Mina's a
guys,
name.
Next time, can we, trick him? Make him think it means anything else?
Oh, you're right. It should have been something super offensive.
Yeah,
and
we let him off way too easy. I should have
Then I Google it, and I come back like, WTF.
God, could you imagine if we could convince Jack that Minasan means bitches? So, at the beginning of every Terrace House, it's like, welcome to Terrace House, bitches.
I've actually been saying a racial slur this entire time.
Oh,
Jack.
no.
Yikes. No, but Mina's a name. Actually, I think it's a name of a famous Japanese K-pop artist on Twice. Mina. So, hey.
Mina is definitely, it's a name, but then Mina-san.
Is the idea of everyone.
Got it. Learn something new every week, guys. Love it. Beautiful.
There to go. This week we are talking about week 48 of Opening New Doors. This is the second to last episode.
Don't remind me. It's happening.
The Walking
happening?
Ritz-Carlton. Great name, but I'll be honest. This episode, maybe I'm a little spoiled because the last four were just balls to the walls, cliffhangers, high drama, socks everywhere. But
So many
this
socks.
was kind of eh?
I mean, stuff happens. Stuff's moving forward, right? It's just there's only really one narrative in the house that I think anyone cares about at this phase. And it feels like a shorter episode, right? It's only just over 30 minutes, less than 35 minutes long. And I know now that the last episode is kind of, not that long either. And so I'm used to Terrace House taking at least 45 minutes or so, per episode. And so it seems like in a way they kind of took maybe one big episode and split it up into two smaller ones just to kind of fill in the time. Because the only thing that I'm thinking about when I'm watching this week is that it's a slow death spiral of my hopes, wants, dreams, and aspirations for Risako and Masao-chan. And I'm just sad to see it happen. But we'll get there.
Look, I'm not saying I was right at the end of the last episode, but I think I'm right. But
Daly was right, too. She called it. She said that, the hesitation, the tears welling up in Risako's eyes were because she knew what was about to happen, why he asked her to stay late. And she was kind of fearful of hurting him and letting him down.
Yeah.
I to be fair though, I think all of us were kind of in prediction. It was we all want it to happen, but I just don't know if we just weren't sure that it was going to happen this time.
There were some pearls of wisdom too. I mean, we'll get there, but you even said, she said, if it fades now, it was always going to fade, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And so,
let's start it off. Let's start with the panel.
Scene.
We start with the panel. I need to point out, you was wearing a full-on Russian mob tracksuit.
She just needs to Slav squat once.
it
It'll
was wild.
complete the image.
I need to Google this now. She looks like she's going to an Armenian wedding.
Yeah, and then next to her, Tori is wearing something that I can only describe as a dress overall.
You're not wrong.
Is that a thing?
It's
I don't
jumpers.
Is that what,
Jumpers,
that's what, really?
hair, the over the shoulder, but then it's a skirt at the bottom. Fashion.
I was focusing more on how one shoulder was like a dress, and then it seemed like it'd be a one sleeve dress, but then there was a overall strap on the other shoulder. It's weird. Whatever.
It's a lot to take in. We're not on that level. We just don't understand.
We're just not that hip.
We don't get high fashion. We need to go to Maya's school to understand.
Yeah. You have to go to school for that.
I mean, here in Seattle, high fashion is a thing since weed's legal.
Got him?
Oh.
Low-hanging fruit, but got him.
Yeah.
But in terms of content, the Terrace House panel is that confession between Io and Yu is kind of boring. I really agree. It was very meh.
It felt obligatory. Like, it felt like, okay, for the cameras, we have to say that we're officially together, I guess. If I don't really want to, but here we are.
Yeah.
But she doesn't.
It's like they got caught red-handed, and now they just need to do the ceremony to make it official, you know?
Yes.
But then we cut to the episode proper. We pick right back up where the last one ended. I feel like that's been a trend now for the past 4 episodes because everything ends in the middle of a scene.
Wait for someone's response, yeah.
Exactly. We are backstage at WWWX. Still a weird venue name, but whatever. And we pick back up to where Masao had just asked Risako, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Yeah. He didn't straight up ask her. The way he worded it was like, you know, and I was thinking about asking you to be my girlfriend, and I think that day is today.
Okay, so he asked her to be his girl. Like, come on.
He
it's
did.
semantics.
She could definitely like get herself an out though and be like, oh, so that's what you were thinking. And like,
right.
Oh, you're not expecting an answer from me.
Well, he gave her an out anyway. Like he doubled down and gave her an out. Where like, hey, you don't need to give me your answer right now.
Yeah.
Give me your answer after the next show.
And he said
Christmas.
so to Ayo in the room later. He said, I felt like if I pressed her for an answer now, it wouldn't have ended well.
Right.
So he was
Yeah,
reading the
right.
room there at that face. He's like, I don't want to press because she was hesitating. And guys, if you ever ask someone to be your girlfriend right then and there, like you better know the answer before you ask that question. Because if there is any doubt in your head and if it doesn't come out immediately, I don't see how it could possibly end well. I really don't. I hate to be pessimistic, but also I predicted at the end of last episode that we recorded that she would maybe buy for time. And so because he gave her that out, that's what she took rather than just like outwardly, making it awkward between them and shutting him down.
Yeah.
But in a way, though, it almost would like free the man. If you're like, I only see you as a brother, as a friend, like it would almost help out. Kind of the way Armand got shut down when he was looking at Christmas lights,
Yeah.
Right.
Boys and Girls City. Yeah, it's like just shut it down. Like just let make it plain. Like don't drag it on because he spends the whole rest of this episode as we talk about being the most awesome dude ever trying to court her. That's
so
why the
funny.
name of this episode is The Walking Ritz-Carlton because he's hospitable as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it ain't helping.
Yeah.
Right.
Did anyone else for a split second think, because she like nodded, but it was like a nod of like understanding of what he was saying, but for like a split second I was like, oh, she said yes.
No.
Ma.
See,
Or was that just me wanting to believe?
I think it might just be that.
Me too. I had a spark, like one glimmer of hope.
Because, I mean, I guess I'm walking in the exact opposite. I believe it's not going to happen. So I immediately read that nod as like, this is happening right now, and I'm understanding that this is happening right now.
I wanted to believe so bad. I mean, for what it was, and I think when people don't give a straight answer right away, it's because they already know what their answer is, but they're just afraid of saying it. So I definitely I think it's a no. I don't want to believe it's a no, but I think it's a no. But for what it was, that moment was not as painful as it could have been. I still think that it was fine.
Well, yeah, because Masao, as sad as this kind of is for him, at least he gave her the way out, saying like, hey, just tell me after the Christmas show. Please come to that and then tell me your answer then. Don't feel pressured to say anything now.
Because he's so accommodating.
Yeah, he's so accommodating. Just like the Ritz-Carlton. And then we cut to a couple scenes where we're seeing people be career fulfillment whatevers. So we go to Focus Studio in Akebonobashi. I was not prepared to read that word. Tokyo with Maya. And she's doing her first paid gig, her first modeling gig, and they ask her, can you embody the cool, sophisticated woman? And she's like, yeah, sure.
And then she kind of doesn't.
Yeah, well, that and also like is she doing a phone ad? Like, what the hell is she doing? Like, because she's holding the phone against her shoulder, if I recall right. And it was like on, but then it was off. And I was like, is this a phone ad? I'm really confused.
Yeah, it was like, is this a nicotine patch? Like,
I think it's like an app. I feel like it's an app, but it didn't look like a cool, sophisticated businesswoman app. It looked like a cartoon heart.
to be honest, if I'm being brutally candid here, she seemed out of her element. She didn't seem very comfortable. She seemed more nervous and apprehensive, and I know she came into that like with that energy. So hopefully they get some good stuff out of it. I mean, they take like 1,000 photos, to get one.
Right.
So hopefully something good came out of it. But just what the clips I saw in Terrace house, I was like, oh, she doesn't really look like she's, having fun.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to what Robert very rightly said way back about how modeling it's hard.
It ain't easy.
Especially seeing like more power, like someone just giving a very vague direction and then being able to translate that into, oh, he means this specific expression.
Blue steel, blue steel, blue steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't good communication happening. Like, it just wasn't very good feedback. It wasn't very helpful for her, like the directions she was giving, or they were giving her rather.
Yeah, maybe that's
a power
what you learn
that we've never seen
in
before.
School. Yeah.
And I mean,
she just goes Super Saiyan suddenly.
Power Ranger. Yeah.
and if you think about it too, I mean, it's not even as hard as modeling can be because she's not walking down the catwalk or anything. There isn't any motion. This is just, pose and take photos. But even something as, quote, simple as that can be so difficult to nail,
Definitely.
But we also cut to the HLNA Sky Garden, which I guess is a skate park on a roof.
That was cool.
That's a badass thing.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
Just you eat it and then you
They
die.
had some fence. They had some like overhang too on the top. Like I was investigating that, but man, that's a cool place to have a skate park.
Oh yeah, like there are a lot of rooftop garden like things and rooftop parks. At least I know in Seoul, because it's a city, major city, and all that. But yeah, he's testing out the skate park that he's supposed to remodel, and he gets a feel for it. And just by one, go through the skate park, after that they cut to the scene where he's like, his mind is in fucking, hangover mode, or like with the calculations and everything. And he's like, I think this bank should be here, and then it should curve to the right, so it'll lead you right into this ramp. And he's just
an R-turn.
Yeah, he's on it. He knows what he's talking about.
It was like watching a level designer go to work. Like, he was like talking to the guy and like riding casually on a skateboard, and he's like, okay, so this should go here, and then you could do a 360 spin here, grind on this rail, then bank on this ramp here, and we could put an R half pipe here. And then I'm like, this is kind of impressive.
Yeah, he knew what he was talking about, and maybe he's found a new calling. Who knows? If because skateboarding can't last forever.
Right.
I mean, there's only like one Tony Hawk, that took it into his 40s. So
what if he just came in and he's like, yeah, so how much skate park design do you have? Well, I designed a lot of skate parks in Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah,
I got that.
Played Mario Maker.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was really cool to see him like this though, because I mean, it's taken, how long has he been on the show now? 12 episodes. It's taken 12 episodes for us to see him do something that looks competent outside of skateboarding.
Yeah, he's kind of made himself into like a man of very few words, and some of those words are like fun ones in English, like "Yo, man, what's up?"
What's up?
Yeah.
They've given him like a total of 10 minutes screen time in the past 5 episodes.
So it was just kind of nice to see him do something that was, 1, cool, and 2, not just skateboarding.
And didn't have to do with a woman too, like just him, his own career, like, because everything, like, he's been basically orbiting around Maya, over the last several episodes. So it's good to see him just kind of do his own thing too.
Yeah,
Totally.
I hate those shirts that he wears though, like the big rugby shirts with like the white collars that are like super oversized. Like, again, I'm sure it's like fashion that we just don't understand, but personally I'm just like, stop it.
I mean, I want him to break out that captain's hat again too that he had when he and Yui went to the grocery store. Like, where's that motherfucker? Come on.
That was a look. I love that.
I hope that's like his last scene in Terrace house. Like, that's what he's wearing.
Yes.
And he looks directly into the camera when he wears it.
I think it's because he got his haircut. That's why he doesn't wear it anymore.
That makes sense.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because he had that big poofy thing going on for a while.
Right. We cut now to the girls' room with Maya and Risako. And here, Risako has just got back from the concert, and she was like, oh yeah, it was really cool to see Masao on stage. And Maya's like, so I heard you stayed after the concert. Like, what'd you guys talk about? And Risako's like, I'll tell you another time.
That was painful.
Yeah.
That was like, just leave it, just drop it, like let her not tell you. But then I was like, oh no, this is gonna become a new thing where it's like, we can't trust you because you don't tell us everything, even though like she totally doesn't have to do that.
And also, like, there are 2 weeks left in the house. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
And then in the boys' room, we get the Masao side of the whole thing, and this is where Jack said earlier, where Masao told Io, if I had pressed her, I got the feeling she would have said no. So at least he's being pretty self-aware, you know.
Man, he's wearing that Snuggie looking thing that I know you can appreciate, Robert. It's like that Snuggie.
It wasn't pink.
Beige. It wasn't pink, right, like yours, but it looked very comfortable.
Wait, you have a. Is that what's on the back of your chair? Is it a pink Snuggie?
Pink Snuggie.
He's had a pink Snuggie
have you never
this whole
seen
time.
The pink Snuggie?
I have seen a pink item, I assumed, of clothing on the back of Robert's chair whenever we record, but I did not know the nature of this pink item.
Yeah.
They match his
quick backstory, Daily. So back when we were recording our old show,
TDP days, the pink Snuggie comes back. You're welcome for the fans. This is an Easter egg for you guys. TDP.
If you like the reference. But every time we would record, because Robert lived in a cold, I don't know, I don't want to say dingy, but basement, and it was very breezy. So every time we would record, he'd be cuddled up in his pink Snuggie.
Yeah, it was great for sound quality, though. I mean, the basement.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I bet.
It's back.
Yeah.
Pink Snuggie.
So then we have the intro play through. The second to last time we're ever going to see the intro play, by the way.
This the first time it's snowy?
So, okay, I meant to check back before we recorded this episode, but I didn't find the time to. I feel like we've seen it snowy before in the intro earlier in the season.
Back when it was snowy.
Yeah, back when it was snowy, right?
Makes sense.
So that's what I think. I can't confirm it right now, but I think they're reusing footage.
I'll own up to I always hit skip intro because I'm like, I need the meat.
Wow.
Oh, see, I do now because the song sucks. But before, I listen to that song every time. I love that song.
But then we start up the episode in the kitchen with Risako, Masao, Maya, and Kaito. And Risako reveals that she's going to be meeting with Enon Kawatani, I believe was his name. Yeah.
Hi.
The singer for Gesukiwa, because apparently this is one of the wildest things I've ever heard, but sure. In a popular magazine, there's always like a weekly photo of this model, and then Enon writes a poem about her.
Oh, about her, or about like just music, or about art?
That's what
It's about the woman?
I assumed it was about the woman. At least the picture.
This was painful the whole time through, and I'm glad Masao brought up, like, please don't fall for him, because the whole time I'm just like, this is bad, and really what was bad was the excitement she had on her face. Like, she was biting her lip, like, she was excited about having this opportunity, not just to model, but to meet Enon, specifically, when she was describing it to the whole table. Like, I've never seen her get that excited about anything with Wada.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the reason why he chose you is because his best friend is hanging out with you and has this massive crush on you. Like, I'm hoping she's making that connection and not just being like, oh my gosh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
And the whole host, the panel didn't make this any better either. They're just like,
I was in panic mode too.
Yeah, they were just like, oh god, no, Enon's gonna steal Risako right from under Masao's nose. And I'm like, oh god, this would be so bad. Like, the band's gonna break up, it's gonna be a whole dramatic nightmare. And I'm like, wait a minute.
If Enon's that shitty, then wow, then I don't know how they could have gotten through what they got through in the past. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
I guess
I was in panic mode because it just didn't seem like her enthusiasm was what was making me nervous. And Wada says so much. He goes, please don't fall for him.
Okay, but here's
like, that would work anyways.
Here's my question. Would it have been so bad if she did fall for Enon? Because clearly she's not falling for Wada from Masao. We've all predicted in the last episode this is probably not going to happen. If it does,
can't be helped, right?
Yeah.
It can't be helped if she does, but at the same time, it'd have been shitty on Enon to do that to his boy,
yes,
who they've been with forever.
Yeah, that would have been some fighting right there.
And it would have been shitty for Wada, just because I like Wada a lot. And that's the whole reason why I want their relationship to bloom. It's not necessarily, like I stated last episode, that I think they're a great couple and they're just so perfect for each other and she just doesn't realize it yet. That's not really it. It's just because I like him and maybe love him like so much. I just want him to be happy. Is really what it comes down to. It's not really like, oh, they're clearly soulmates. Like, it's not really that. And he's kind of a hopeless romantic in a way. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
He's such 100%. A romantic.
You know, I mean, he would have,
Totally.
like, to be fair, like, wouldn't he have probably, he's only pursuing Risako because that was the path of least resistance in a way. Like, he was there for a wife. Like, he would have dated anyone there that was eligible to date to just find, you know, love. That's why he went there specifically. So, you know, I mean, if Yui wasn't with Io, he would have probably gone on a date with her, tried to. And same for Maya if she wasn't taken too.
I mean,
I wonder.
Yeah. So I agree. I could totally see him going on dates with the other girls if they weren't, you know, kind of on track to be dating other guys. Yeah. But I don't want it to sound like Masao's settling for Risako because he's clearly beyond infatuated.
He's aspiring.
He talks about her voice, her lips, her like this. He talks about her like this is a woman he's in love with.
He's hopelessly in love with her. Yeah. He's a romantic guy.
I don't like the term hopeless being tossed around constantly.
I'm sorry.
Like, I want to believe that there's hope, guys.
I'm with you.
I'm
just
nope.
I just watched this episode.
Robert, stop it.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, this is a term that's thrown around, right? The hopeless romantic. I think it's just kind of like one of those phrases now, where it's like people just say that when you know they like cheesy lovey-dovey stuff. I guess
pretty much when anyone just
romantic.
Falls very easily. I guess.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's part of it.
The token.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
I believe in Masao. I believe in Masao. I believe in Masao.
Another thing I want to point out that the panel says during this early part of the episode, Tori says that Maya was probably feeling, and we pointed this out too, that she's feeling that Risako is blocking her out, and this is just kind of continued fallout from the past debacle. And Shono follows that up by saying that he thinks all of the interactions between the girls are fake now. And I was kind of curious because that struck me. I kind of agree with him. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I mean, I don't know. At least personally, I don't feel like I see enough on-screen interactions with them to really get the gist. I mean, there's definitely some, as we've agreed in the past, some conversations where it feels stilted or as if like the producers kind of set it up a little bit, you know? But I don't know. I don't know if I'm seeing enough conversations between them to really get that sense.
I feel like, at least in this case of Risako not wanting to tell Maya exactly what happened between her and Masao, was less like, we don't talk anymore because of everything that happened, and more like, if I talk about this, she's going to ask me what my answer is, and I either don't have that or it's going to be negative and I'm going to look like a jerk on TV.
And also she's worried about that information leaving that room too, which is valid concern. Mm-hmm. And then you know, like that dangerous game of telephone getting back to Masao and then just creating more problems than solving them. And I mean, if they had if they had that level of trust and respect between Maya and Risako, they definitely would have talked about it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I definitely that's a huge part of it. And also, I mean, maybe it's just a lot to deal with in her head too. You know, maybe she just doesn't want to talk about it yet.
I thought it was smart for her to not say anything. I mean, it wasn't. It didn't make for the most comfortable exchange there in the room. But looking back on it, it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't say shit.
Because it would be so shitty, even if she was like very truthful and it was like, I just don't know what to think right now. There's a lot of things to consider. And then again, that dangerous game of telephone, and it gets back and someone tells Masao and it's like, oh yeah, she hates him. She hates you. She's totally not on board. When in reality, she didn't necessarily say anything inherently negative.
Yeah, she's already felt the bite of, you know, saying too much, you know, to people in confidence and then having that whipper, you know, later on in the house. So
it's a good thing then that Maya and Kaito assault her in the next scene in the living room and are just like, hey, tell us what the fuck happened between you and Masao. And they corner her, like flank her. She has no escape.
She'd have to vault over the coffee table to get away.
Yeah, so they approach her in the most surreptitious way. They're like, oh man, we're moving out soon, huh? That really sucks. Have you packed your stuff? Yeah, I packed my stuff. I mailed some of my stuff. Hey, what about you and Masao?
Yeah, seriously, it was like, so like, no, this is why we're here. This is why we're here.
Yeah. And Risako replies with, I'm very grateful that he feels that way. I have a lot of respect for him, and he's helped me in many ways.
Why does she not just be honest with him and herself and just say, I think of you as a friend or as a brother. Thank you. Why prolong? Is she hoping it happens? Is she hoping the spark happens?
I don't know. It was a very canned answer that she gave about it. She was like trying to somewhat dodge it. It was almost like a player on a football team giving a post-game interview. It's like, yeah, we go out there, we got in the end zone, give 110%,
110%.
And then, I got to play good next week.
Meaningless.
We're going to get the ball in the net. We're going to do what coach says and tackle people.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like it is just because of the extra factor of the cameras at this point that like she doesn't want to become known as the girl that broke Kyujitsu Kacho's heart.
It's gonna happen.
That's what she's gonna be. She
doesn't want to be vilified, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
she's feeling that pressure. I think she's just trying to ride it out as long as possible because she knows the show's about to end.
Okay, so
so she's taking the coward's way out.
Maybe I'm being too idealist about this, right? But I feel like if she's waiting around for the quote spark to happen, and let's say it does happen, that relationship's doomed from the start. Because if one person is super, super, super into the other, and the other needs to be convinced after literal weeks of I like you, I love you, I think about you all the time, that relationship is dead. I don't care. That's not gonna last.
Dead is a strong word, but certainly terminal.
Yeah.
That's a strong word too.
It's a pretty strong word.
Stage 4 cancer. Like
That's the thing, guys. Like, guys out there, all right? Again, I'll say it one more time to stress the importance of this. If you are asking a girl to be your girlfriend and you don't already know what she's going to say, you have officially fucked up somewhere along the road. You're lying to yourself. You're in denial. So...
And
he's trying though, man. He is fucking trying, and he tries even more this episode. And so I give him kudos, for effort, but somewhere in his gut, he's got to know. He does know. I refuse to believe that he doesn't know.
He's a smart guy. He's 31. He's been around the block, but I just think from Risako's end, to me, this makes a lot more sense to go the Io route, because there are routes now in Terrace house, to just say, hey, I'm gonna end this right here. I don't like you that way. I think we'd be good friends. In the same way that Io is straight up, the first thing he says about himself is, hey, I've cheated before. Because, like I've always said, it would be a lot worse to find out right now that Io has cheated on someone before. In the same way that if Risako says no to Kyujitsu Kacho at the end of episode 49, that's real shitty because Masao's whole arc, his whole 2 months in Terrace house, has been chasing after a girl who knew at day 1 she would say no.
Yeah, and I mean, we even get a little bit of a glimpse of that here in this episode. There's a quote that she said that she talked about how, I forget who she was telling, but she was telling someone that her and Masao were watching a movie on the couch in the playroom, and that Masao like edged closer to her, not to an uncomfortable degree, but just like somewhat closer. And Risako was like, there wasn't that feeling in me that I wanted him to move even closer. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like whatever.
That was painful. Yeah, it didn't do anything for her at all. Like the thought of physical. Oh, I got a question. I got a personal question.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Do you need my credit card number?
Is it fair to say? Okay, 2-part question. Okay, so the first part is: do we think that she would be struggling with this internally? You think she'd have a problem with getting those sparks going, right? That you need to get with someone you're going to date and be official with, if physical attraction was less of an issue? Do you think that's like one of the primary hurdles here? So that's my first question.
I think it's a big part of it.
Well, I don't want to go as far as saying big, but it's definitely a part of it, and it's not just that she's vain. It's just the fact of life, right?
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's how biology works. Okay, so we all have some sort of agreement on that. Okay, because I agree. Okay, so now there's my personal question: has anyone on the panel ever dated someone who they would say they're probably more attracted to their personality than perhaps their physical appearance?
On the panel,
or is there always been a physical?
Do you mean us, the panel, or the Terrace
Yes, I'm
house
talking
panel?
about you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Who else am I talking to?
I don't know, because I'm like, I don't know anything about you's dating history.
I'm talking about you guys. Like, have you ever been in a relationship where like, man, I really like this person, I really love this person, I'm just not physically attracted to him, but I want a relationship with them, I want to give it a shot?
Yeah, I've been on both sides of the coin, and
a girl that wasn't attracted to you.
Well, no, in that, like, I've been with someone where, like, I was attracted to them because of their personality, not necessarily the physical appearance. And then the other way around is, like, their personality is okay, but I'm really attracted to them physically. Like,
their personality's okay. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
so you've done both extremes, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, neither of those people that I'm thinking of, like, I never, like, technically formally dated. It was, like... it was kind of becoming a thing, and then it didn't,
Okay. Okay. But you would, it sounds like you haven't yet dated a female who you were not that physically attracted to. I mean, yeah, I guess you considered it.
Right. Well, yeah, at one point, but anymore, though, I can't. I just don't think I could bring myself to do that.
So that was a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Understand. Okay. Who's next?
Who's next?
I don't. I just don't really have an answer to that. I mean, I haven't dated much, so like, yeah.
Do you think that do you think you could, or do you think you'd have to have that? And it's okay. I mean,
so like, I usually value personality over looks in anyone anyway. Yeah. I mean, like, if someone looks attractive, I'm gonna like notice it. Like fucking Chris Hemsworth. I'm not gay, but like, dude, like, he's great. But
everyone wants to look like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so. But when I'm talking to people, I'm never like, I meet someone at the bar and the first thing I'm thinking is I'm looking at their face like, oh, that's not, oof, man, that's, or oof,
Dang.
Like, I'm just thinking, like, cool. Oh, they like talking about Star Wars. So let's talk, like, cool. This is fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've done both. I've dated someone who I was very physically attracted to and then didn't really have much there, in ways of other things that are always important in every relationship. So I've been on that side. I've also dated someone who certainly does not fit the classic standards of what we would think are beautiful traits physically in America, at least. And that was actually quite a long-term relationship. It was off and on. But looking back at it, 2020 hindsight, it was kind of an unhealthy relationship to be in, because I was always wondering like where this would go, like how long it would last, and never really like fully was involved in that. So I don't know. It just was like a very, very good friendship that I was like, I'll give this a try and see how it is. And then it just kind of like stayed like that really great friendship, with like, kissing and hugging and stuff too. But then it just kind of fizzled and it ended kind of bad. And then we just aren't really friends anymore. So that was kind of sad.
Mm.
Yeah. Daily, you're quiet.
I know, I am.
You're last.
I haven't dated a lot. I have been, this is an anecdote that fits. I have been pursued by someone that I thought was like my exact like physical type at the time. I was like, this person checks every box, but
you have boxes.
I guess I have boxes. Sure. I move a lot. I have boxes. No. But personality, it was just like, there's something off here. I just can't.
Killed the deal.
I just can't get past that. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I will always believe that no matter how vain you are as a human being, if whoever you're trying to tongue down with has no personality or their personality doesn't mesh with yours, nothing about it is going to be long term.
That's the foundation. Yeah, long term. It can be short term.
Yeah, it can be booty call central, but you're not going to want to really date them. And even if you do date them, it's probably going to feel pretty superficial and pretty forced after a few months.
So, right. So Daly, you're not off the hook yet. So,
no.
So you haven't dated anyone who was all personality and not really a physical attribute yet at this phase?
No, I'm attracted to people as a whole. So
yeah.
There's never been an instance where like one was missing, one of those aspects was missing.
It's got to be a balance.
It's always been, a very nice balance of both.
And that's how it's got to be. Like, there's no judgment here. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just, just curious to kind of hear about it.
I think after having more and more experience with the dating world and that sort of thing, I think it gets to a point where like you just don't want to settle for anything less than like kind of that sweet spot at least.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I mean, yes, personality is more important, but you have to be the fact of the matter is you have to be attracted to them physically.
Like, you guys know how I feel about my wife.
My wife.
You never let out about it.
My wife.
Yeah, I guess this is a funny thing about me is like, you know, that stereotype of, you know, I'm at the bar and then there's that beautiful girl across the bar. We lock eyes. She plays with her hair, and like that's the spark for the relationship or the whatever.
Isn't that the beginning to Jizz in My Pants by Lonely Island?
Sure. And
I catch your eyes from across the room.
Across the room.
You were like describing that song, yeah. So one of the funniest things my wife and I will sometimes talk.
Boom.
Sometimes my wife and I will talk about like previous like just funny interactions we've had, and she tells me the story. It's so funny. She's in like rural ass Ohio, right? So there's a kind of a personality that is prevalent out there in those rural regions. And this one guy, he really thought this was like a good thing to say to her. He's like, you know, your hair just looks really pretty there, flopping around in the wind.
We're driving there while we got the windows open in my 4x4
He
truck.
said flopping around in the wind, and we still laugh about that. That's probably like 10 years ago.
I think flop is the least stimulating word. It's the opposite of stimulation, I think.
Flapping in the wind.
Unless you're flip-flopping, then I like that.
Flippy.
Same.
Flippity-flop.
But hey,
My flippy floppies, man. Lonely Island's coming up a lot here.
My flippy floppies. I'm flipping burgers.
hey guys,
Straight
remember
flipping
Terrace House? You want to get back to that?
Yeah.
let's get back to that. So we go to Shinagawa in Tokyo, and we're at this bar restaurant called Ippo with Risako, and she's sitting there and she's waiting around for someone, and it's like, oh, who's waiting around?
Maybe Masao, right?
And it's Enon.
And I'm like, that motherfucker, he's going to have dinner with her by themselves
After
with
the
camera
shoot.
crew, but by themselves after the shoot. I was highly suspect at this scene, like what the actual fuck is going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured that's what was gonna happen. I didn't know if it was gonna be like in a restaurant, but I knew like they would like do kind of like an interview.
Yeah, if he's
because
writing
for
a
him
poem.
to write the poem, yeah.
And so I don't know what this is. Jack, do you just have a thing against lead singers? Because I'm just feeling this sense of like he's a lead singer. Of course he's gonna bang the girl, you know?
I don't
Jack,
know.
do you hate yourself?
I don't know that. I wasn't a good person when I was a lead singer, I don't think. But I was concerned because I didn't know what his motivations were yet. You know what I mean? We'll get there. But like at the same time, I was wondering why they would go have dinner by themselves. And I didn't, and again, the poem, I still didn't like think like, oh, it's about her and what he thinks about her and this whole romantic thing. So I didn't know that they would need to have anything besides a casual conversation, you know?
Well,
So I thought this was maybe like, hey, let's go have dinner, you know, like an impromptu plan to go have dinner after the shoot.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-uh.
The thing. Oh no.
Oh, what the
Not
fuck?
that noise. Not that noise.
But listen, that's not the first time. That's not the first time though that like women have come in to complicate a relationship within a band of males. Like that's a very common trope that happens. You know,
It is a common trope. Luckily, I never had to deal with it.
I've never had to deal with it directly, but I've seen it play out. It gets complicated.
Yeah, same.
Bands are complicated.
Feelings.
Bands
What-
are basically 5 people or 4 people or whatever, 3 people all married together. It's like a relationship
Essentially.
when you're in a band.
Totally.
Wait,
A lot of
what
hurt
about
feelings.
what about podcast teams? Are we married to each other?
Are we married?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Weird question, but
Where's my ring? No.
Yeah, Jack, where's my...
What, I'm buying rings for everybody? Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I guess.
how's I get the raw end of the stick here?
Because you have the big boy job.
Gosh, here we go.
But
yeah.
So this scene, the thing that was, I didn't think it was suspect that they were meeting, but what was very, very telling to me is that Risako, I don't know, it could have been like glitter, but she was just shimmering with sweat. She was nervous.
Oh, is that what that was?
Like she was so sweaty and she didn't feel like herself. I feel like she's usually very comfortable in whatever situation that she's in, but she was very like formal. She was very like, she didn't know how to react to him.
I didn't feel like I knew her anymore.
Yeah.
True.
She was standing at really straight posture too. really straight.
So,
it was a weird thing.
Stiff.
Here's my guess.
It was all bad sign for me because she was trying to see, if there was an in there, I think.
So I have
Maybe I'm just inventing that.
two leading hypotheses for this. One, maybe she's a closet Gesukiwa fan. And it's like, cool, I'm meeting the singer. Like, I mean, come on, think about it. If this is like a band you really like and you're just sitting at dinner with the singer all of a sudden, like, that's weird.
Yeah, but she's dating the bassist.
You're going to be nervous.
Yeah,
but she's dating the bassist.
Right, but just because you know
on a date with him.
one person in the band, you know what I mean? Like, and that person isn't there. Like, she's meeting Enon cold turkey. Or she was probably thinking this could turn into more than just dinner and talking about the poem, right? And then she gets flustered because basically this is a 45-minute scene of Enon talking about Masao and how good of a guy Masao is, even with his flaws.
God, Enon points, man. Points, karma points. Godlike karma for this man.
He's a fucking wingman to the T.
I was not expecting that at all, but he just like came out as like, listen, like Masao he busts his ass in the studio. He cares about this band more than himself.
I'm nothing, we're nothing without him.
Yeah.
He said a lot of good things about Masao, but I think he might have screwed Masao over in giving Risako an out because he was like, Masao makes the best music when he's heartbroken.
Oh, she might use that.
And she might be like thinking like, oh, it won't be so bad because he's gonna play better than ever before.
I just would prefer. I mean, sure, that's a crush for Lino. I would just prefer if she does turn him down. When she doesn't turn him down, if it's looking like now that she just is honest about it and doesn't like use that kind of excuse. But
I don't think she'd like outright say it.
Hopefully not.
But I feel like internally she's like, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna make great music. He's gonna get over me. And Enon might even be happy because of my actions.
Maybe. Did anyone else get the vibe that she was definitely trying to feel out what Enon's kind of motivations were with this in the very beginning? Because I felt like she was paving the way for this to maybe be more than just a friendly encounter, because she was pretty quick to shut down Masao, like her feelings for him. She's like, I just don't feel. That was when she told the story that he got closer to me. I didn't feel anything. It's not going anywhere. The air is clear. Don't feel guilty that we're here. I kind of felt like she was like erased, right? That's what you and Tori-chan were saying. Like Masao's going to get erased during this, and I felt like that was kind of what was going on in the early parts of this conversation. Anyone else?
I didn't really get those vibes. Like, whether or not Risako's attracted to Enon, that's, like, I don't really care. And I also don't think we've gotten enough of that scene to really say for sure one way or the other. What I do think happened is that Enon went there with the goal of, like, Kyujutsu Kacho, he's been with me through fucking that scandal. He's believed in me since day one. I need to believe in him back. And I need to do what I can to help out my boy. Like they sound like brothers at this point. Yeah. And I though I'm glad, Daly, that you brought up that out that Enon gave, because it's like he was at 100% the whole way through, and then he said, "But when his heart breaks, he makes better music." That's just a wall.
Don't say that.
No, like that ruins everything.
Say he makes shittier music. Like lie.
But even the panelists said though, they said that even if Enon doesn't want to date her or feel anything like that she still could fall for him. You can't control that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
She was very excited. She was very excited to be there and nervous.
I will say, Enon ended the recommendation very weirdly. I think even after all of he makes better music when he's heartbroken, but he's a cool guy. He stuck with me through the end. His last thing is, I really do recommend him. Like, he's a menu item. Like, I would recommend the Masao Wada.
Was that a translation
word.
Thing, or that was what
she
said? Okay,
it was the literal word, like what you would ask, like, oh, what are the chef's recommendations?
The Chilean sea bass, Masao,
the marinated Masao Wada.
Yeah. What's the phrase to recommend me something? What do you recommend? I forget.
Osusume?
Osusume
wa nan desu ka?
Yeah, osusume wa nan desu ka? Yeah.
Osusumemas. Like, I recommend him.
Yeah. It was kind of, it didn't drive it home to me. I think it could have been a good speech. This speech could have been the thing that turned everything around for Masao. I don't think it got there, personally.
No, she went into that dinner like it's already over in Risako's head. She's just not stating it to anybody.
Yeah.
It's already over. I think it's Foregone conclusion.
I want to believe. I want to hold on to that one spark, but even she said like there's not a spark.
It was over before she even went to that concert last episode, is what I really believe.
Same. But speaking of over, let's cut over to Katase Enoshima in Kanagawa with Kaito and Maya. And so this whole scene is the non-couple that's totally a couple but not a couple walking on the beach together, romantic scenery and everything,
writing their names in the sand.
Yeah, with the heart and the plus sign and all that stuff, and then it gets washed away by the waves, and it's like, oh, how fleeting. Good job.
It looked like a Uniqlo ad, as Yama put it.
Yeah, and it ends,
I love Uniqlo.
It ends with Kaito and Maya being like, yeah, we both like each other, but the time right now isn't right. You know, Kaito's got to go he's got to go to America months at a time to do skateboarding boot camp, and Maya's got to finish up school. So like, maybe in the future.
Yeah. As immature, I think that they've kind of like very high school, the way that they behaved, which is mostly just like in a fun, flirty way. Like I in no way want to make that like a total negative, but that was a super adult decision. It felt very, clean cut. Like, we like each other. Let's explore that. Just not right now.
Yeah. I think it's the best option.
Also, the shots and the cinematography that they chose, it just, and the way the whole thing was set up, it seriously felt like, I mean, I know they said commercial, it felt more like a drama to me. Like it was a very set up shot, and it was just a little too perfect.
It's just very chill words against this very dramatic backdrop. Like,
right.
You're like, yeah, I'm probably going to go abroad. And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We have time to figure that out. It was a very early 20s conversation.
Yeah, totally. Stated, yeah. I was picturing some Asian Kung Fu Generation playing in the background or something, some like Japanese alternative music.
That was a cool beach scene. They had some good angles going on though.
And then we cut back to the kitchen with Masao and Risako. And Risako just got home, long day at work. Like, she's clearly looking exhausted. And then also she's coming home to the guy who's been, like, no offense, kind of hounding her for the past 2-3 weeks. And
sorry, I just want to bring up, like, if this was like Risako doing this to Masao, would we just have a huge parallel to Maya and Noah?
Mayu and Noah?
Because Mayu,
sorry.
Yeah, Mayu's like really like, I think she was very creepy and scary about it. I think it was very clear Noah, I mean not very clear, but Noah was very much like on a different like level of disdain than, I don't think Risako is like in any level of disdain actually for Masao yet.
Right.
So I think it is a little different.
Yeah, Mayu wasn't even.
Plus, Wada isn't like lying and deceiving anyone to get in with Risako, you know?
Exactly. And Mayu wasn't even giving Noah like room to breathe.
Well, neither.
Do you want to turn on the fire?
But I mean,
and also think about the way the show's edited too. Like, I actually think like Wada is very smart and intelligent in like the way he's pursuing her. So we perceive it on the show as like, oh, he's hounding her down like for weeks and weeks and weeks. But there's a lot of time where they don't see each other.
Well, yeah, they're both busy people. Like, he goes studio recording like for weeks at a time. She goes on trips for a week at a time, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think there are some similarities in that this is another relationship.
It's one-sided.
Yeah, where it's very one-sided, and the one side that wants it really wants it. You know?
Sure.
I feel like
it happens.
This, like, the concert that Masao asked her to go to is the equivalent of Mayu saying, hey, let's watch SpongeBob together.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel bad now because we heap all this praise and sympathy onto Masao, and we kind of like hated on Mayu for the same thing.
Yeah,
I like Mayu. I mean, I don't hate her. I think she's a little creepy, but I liked her.
So for me, the difference was, it's a lot of what Jack said, in that at least with Masao, the way he's doing it, I don't feel like he's pretending to be this new guy. You know, he comes off as
he's not.
He's always cooked. He's always played bass. He's legitimately in all these bands. Like, all the things that he's doing to make himself look good or try to look good
are really him.
It's who he is. With Mayu, I couldn't tell you one trait about her other than she's a model.
Like,
me too.
Yeah, like the difference here, right, is that if Masao found out that Risako really likes bass players, so he went out and bought a bass the next day and started learning and was like, hey, I'm playing for all these bands, want to come to my show? See, it's different there. He's a lot more genuine and sincere and trustworthy. And Mayu, it can't be herself.
Right, exactly.
She doesn't know how.
Yeah, it's not like, someone's like, hey, yeah, I really like the outdoors. And then,
Me
Masao's
too.
just like, me too,
I love hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I'm feeling with it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Masao says, hey, I see you've been having a tough day. I've filled the bath for you. Go ahead and have a bath.
He's like, it's kind of like she was being dismissed from the table too. He's like, go take a bath.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
kind of like, she's like, this
stink.
is
You
weird.
stink.
All right, fine.
Go.
You stink like
Yeah, she's
Io's
this is weird, I
boogers.
guess. Yeah.
No.
But he had a motive to get her in the bath.
Yes.
And man, that was really cool.
Right.
That was.
She gets to the bath. She finds it's not only full, but full of yuzu fruit, which are very citrusy fruit.
Those are just oranges, they look like to me. But I know they're yuzu.
They're slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd
And
be cool.
if you don't know, a yuzu bath is a pretty typical thing to do around like this time of year, where basically it clears your mind, the aroma and the hot bath, heats up the citrus, activates the chemicals, all that shit, and you inhale it, calm body, calm mind.
That
was so nice.
Yeah, it looked expensive. Like, that was a lot of oranges. That was a lot of yuzu. Like,
Fruit is expensive in Japan.
Yeah.
It's real expensive.
So
They
I
have
feel like
premium fruit there, like they'll have like a square watermelon that's been growing for like a year in a square jar, and it's like $100 watermelon, like one fruit.
But yeah, she gets in the bath. She's chill. Like, you can kind of see all the worries kind of whisking away a little bit, which is kind of nice.
Made for a good scene.
Yeah. And then the next morning, Masao's in the kitchen. He's already working on the baguette. He's working food on the stove. And Risako walks in and they have breakfast together again that he cooks for her, right?
Dude, didn't he say that's like his dream bread that he's always wanted, and like John Lennon's favorite bread or something like that? He shared his dream bread with her.
Dream bread.
That was so nice. It was so
bread.
nice.
Dream bread.
Yeah.
It was his dream to
Since
have
we
that
all said
bread.
it.
Yeah, he's a big John Lennon
Like that
fan,
he-
which is kind of cool.
He admires John Lennon and Yoko Ono's relationship. And that kind of seemed like a nudge, hint, hint. Let's talk about romantic things.
You could be my Yoko. That's basically what he's saying.
Oh.
It was his beloved
Yeah.
bread.
His beloved bread. And she thanks him for the bathroom last night. And then he's like, hey, there's a place I want to go to tonight. Do you want to come with me? And she says yes. So we cut to the panel instead of the place. And the panel's here one last time. And I think they're all sharing the same sentiment. They don't think Risako x Masao is going to happen.
I mean, I love that exchange they had too, where Tokui and Yu, they always get a little imaginative, right? And they were worried about her falling for the lead singer, and where they're enacting where she's like, no, focus on the bass, Basu. No, and then like they just look and see the lead singer and just like, no, that's not what you want to happen. I mean, but for that and for many reasons, like there's not a lot of hope here in what's going to happen, I mean... And then also, I don't remember when it was, but I think Yama was like calling it. Oh, I remember now. Tori was like, you know what? He needs to initiate some kind of physical response. Like he needs to go behind her and hug her or something like that. And they're like, no, that could be bad. And then Yama's like, yeah, no one wants a dense fatty. Like he called Masao a dense fatty. I'm like, dude, I hope that name doesn't stick. Like, damn, hardcore.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, I kind of agree with them though. I don't think Masao like just. I don't know, attack hugging her is going to do anything.
No.
He tried to just scooch next to her a little bit and it didn't help. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. And that I think is like the appropriate level of like trying to initiate, I guess, physical attraction is like trying to be like physically closer to someone. And in the next scene, I think the next step that he takes towards that is totally the right step to take. It's totally not, overbounds. It's not Shohei grabbing face. It's not over the line.
Is it too early for a foot massage?
It's never too early for a foot massage.
Is it too early for a foot massage?
I don't know how
Like
to
in the
respond to
playroom, right? You're just sitting there watching SpongeBob or some shit, and like she's on her feet all day, modeling, busy. Like, hey, maybe just like when they were watching a movie, and he just like scooted over, right? Maybe I don't know. Just
I feel like he'd be into that, and like and now will you step on me?
Yeah, I've
Like-
massaged your feet.
Yeah, this is in keeping with Robert's theory here about
Can you use
Masao's kinks.
my massaged feet to step on me, please? Please just step on me.
I'm just saying, guys, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction? You know, a foot massage might come into play here. I mean, I'm saying.
All I'm saying is
give the guy some wins.
If she isn't into him now, a foot rub is not going to change it.
No.
After all this.
It's going to
Fair enough.
Unless he has like magical hands and it's like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
So maybe it will. Maybe it could.
I mean, I guess he plays the bass pretty well.
If anyone has magical hands, it's him.
Yeah.
Right? He's got strong grip and good dexterity and a feel for vibrations of the strings.
This is getting somewhere.
Dexterity bonus.
Yeah.
Anyway, next scene.
Yeah.
Kurizawa Prince Shopping Center.
The final scene. Final scene with Masao and Risako, and this is a fucking literally lit place. It reminds me a lot of this one mall back in Seoul that's just like Christmas time. There's just lights everywhere. It's really pretty, and it's a very nice place to be. And
what a nice place to take someone you like.
Exactly. And especially since in Japan, Christmas time does have a lot of romantic connotations to it as well. You know, so this was the good venue to be in. And then he says, "Hey, do you want to hold hands?" And her response is, Why?
Why would I do that?
You're so funny.
That is the most dismissive, like, oh, you're so funny. Like, that surely was a joke, right?
Then he pulls out the tickets. He doubles down on his feelings for her. He goes, here's your ticket to the show. It's just a piece of paper, but to me, it means so much more.
And he doubles, triples, quadruples down by saying, I told you I like you, but I just want you to know I really like you. I yearn for you. You don't throw the yearn word out there in this stage.
Was that a translation thing?
I don't know what the word would be otherwise.
Yikes. I need you.
Yeah.
Every molecule of my soul.
He didn't say that, but
Might as well.
I see where he's coming from in saying that, because it's like he doesn't want her to think that he's just into her because like she's pretty, and like he's just kind of decided like, oh, he's going after someone because that's what he came here to do. Right. I think he's trying to be like, no, it's you that I like.
Well,
I like
why?
You.
I guess the question is, why does he like her? Why do we think he likes her? Because I hate to be that guy, but when you just describe what's not happening just there, Daly, it seems to make sense to me. Like what you said, it seems very logical. You know, so have we thought about why does he like her?
Because
I mean, she is beautiful. She was on that ab box.
Exactly. He bought that box and was like, this is the one.
It's destiny.
Did she sell it? Yeah. I mean, there might be some of that. I don't know.
No,
but like, I'm just not trying to be difficult, not trying to be a dick. I just want to throw that out there. Like, why do we think he likes her?
I mean, that's totally fair.
Because she just shuts him down. She just is full of disappointment at every turn.
She does.
And there aren't any physical sparks.
All the things he says about her, right, are things that you could say about someone after the initial infatuation, right? Like, everyone has a voice. Almost everyone has lips. So you can comment on those things, right? And their laugh, etc. But these are all things that are traits that you find out about anyone. You know, I don't think I could think of any time he's talked about, I like the way she does this, or I like that she likes that.
It's just a slow death spiral, guys, and we have one more episode to endure this, and I don't know if he's gonna pull the Hail Mary off and like seal the deal here. I just cannot see it happening. I hope I'm wrong, as I am with all things, because he's such a cool guy and I want him to be happy.
No.
Whatever that means, I guess.
No.
But
you don't want him to be happy?
I want him to be happy.
I mean, no. I mean, like, even if it means being with Risako, like, I want him to be happy. I just don't know if there's any longevity there. And there clearly is no sparks there, no fireworks.
This relationship, if it happens, will not make him happy. In fact, it might make him more miserable. Because then it'd be this idea of, I'm in a relationship, shouldn't I be happy? Which is a very bad trap to fall into.
He wants to be punished, though, right? He's a masochist. He wants to be torn down. Maybe this is all feeding into his wants. Maybe every time she rejects him, every time he feels like shut down, this is like gaining points for him. We've established that he wants that. So
I do feel
this is like a really unhealthy cycle of communication going on.
I do feel like there's, especially on Terrace House, kind of like this expectation of like, you get together in order to get to know each other. Like, you start going out, and then like you'll find out like what's their favorite color, like what's their favorite thing to do, like get to know more in depth after already establishing that commitment. And I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
But look, I'm just saying, this episode ends after he says the whole, it's more than a piece of paper to me. And you look at Risako's face, and I'm just telling you now, that is not the face of someone in love. That is the face of someone who doesn't want to say they're not in love.
And it ended the same fucking way last week's episode ended.
And that's why, to me, this whole episode was a blur. Because I remember the beginning and end, because they're both the exact same scene.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's like, this feels like a total waste. The only thing that really got resolved here is Kaito and Maya deciding to be adults about their relationship.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was pretty much the gist of it.
Like, I don't.
Was Yui even in this episode?
I don't think Yui was, and Io was only in it to provide Masao a foil after their first date in the beginning.
Yeah, he was only for a minute. Maybe Yui is getting a hint, and like no one wants to see her anymore.
Maybe.
Oh dang!
Yikes!
It's been very Yui heavy lately.
True. Yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoy this break because now we actually get some moments with Maya and Kaito. It's just a shame that the relationship is kind of like, it's just, yep, we like each other.
Yeah, I don't even think it's worth having any time spent on predictions here because it seems to be very predictable what's going to happen.
Right,
I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that the end of this season of Terrace House is going to be all that satisfying.
If he pulls it off, this will be like the comeback of all comebacks. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see that last episode. I don't know if I'll be totally dissatisfied. I mean, it's been a great run. I'm sad that it's coming to an end. I mean, Kurizawa has been a home for us for a long time. So yeah, it'll be a celebration. Bittersweet, of course, bittersweet.
Same. But I think that wraps up today's episode of Tadaima. I want to leave everyone here with a little bit of homework that, both here on this panel and also every one of our fun friends listening at home. If you have Spotify, please look up the song I'm Sorry by Sota. Because yes, this is a hip hop single by our boy Sota.
No.
Yo, I cannot wait. Is it in Japanese?
It's in Japanese, but he says a few English phrases like "I hate this" and stuff like that.
Gosh,
he's trying to make some Japanese sad boy music.
I was gonna say he's capitalizing on the sad boy movement.
He really, really is. It's so terrible. Please go listen to it.
Is it an apology to his son?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
It's an apology for something. Maybe for his run on Terrace House. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's just called I'm Sorry by Sota. And also,
this is a good idea.
Apparently he's featured on a ton of other tracks. How could we have seen him for 8 episodes and he doesn't once mention, I also am an aspiring musician?
Yeah. Wow. Junon boy wonder indeed.
Yeah. So there's your homework. Have fun with that.
Jeez.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm listening to on my flight to Seattle.
Just on repeat, on loop.
Yes, constantly.
Hey, Daily, do you want to talk about the lovely contest we've got running?
Sure thing. So we have a lovely contest, as Robert said, running. We are trying to get as many iTunes reviews, feedback, if you will, as we can. So if you leave us a review on iTunes or a comment on Podbean, and then make sure to send us on any one of our many channels, Facebook, Twitter, etc., to let us know that you are the one that did that, then you are in the running for this contest. If you've already left a review or comment, then you're already in the running, and that prize at the end of this, which is at the end of April 30th, there's 30 days in the month of April. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You will receive, should you win, a $100 Amazon gift card and a signed copy of Sota's new single. I guess. No, we can't guarantee that.
I mean, we'll be the one signing it, not him.
We're gonna print a vinyl
there we go.
and mail it out now.
We're gonna make a vinyl of just the one song and send it to you. No, but you can do what you want with that money. But in order to do it, please leave us a review on iTunes or a comment on Podbean. Let us know what you think. And we hope it's good things.
And if you already entered our first contest, you are in this one too already. Mm-hmm. So,
and honestly,
all you need to do is tell your friends to listen to our show.
If it's bad things, let us know too. We want to help make the show better for everyone. So let us know your
it doesn't have to be 5 stars.
Yeah.
It has to be just your thoughts.
But 5 stars are good. 5 stars are good. 5 stars.
Tell us how shitty our hot takes are.
There it is.
Yeah. Just looking to improve the show. So thank you for everyone that's entered already and everyone that will soon.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, theories, other hit singles by Terrace House members that we don't know about, please send those to questions@terracehousepodcast.com. You can catch us on Tuesday with a somber, depressing final episode.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
Of Tadaima, where we cover the finale of Opening New Doors that we all expect to be very sad.
If you want to listen to 4 people cry at the same time, that's going to be our show next.
This is what it's like when doves cry.
We're going to be up in the fields.
This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itekimasu!
Email us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram @Tadaimagram, on Twitter @TadaimaPod, and check us out on Facebook and YouTube @Tadaima, a Terrace House Podcast.